Case study: Rahman vs. Arearose Ltd 2001. Introduction. Mr. Rahman's life took a devastating turn in 2001 when a violent assault at his fast food restaurant workplace left him permanently blind and suffering from severe psychiatric disorders. This horrific incident sparked a legal battle on two fronts. Firstly, Mr. Rahman sought compensation from his employer, Arearose Ltd, for failing to provide a safe work environment, which allegedly led to the assault. Secondly, he sued a surgeon who, through negligent post-surgical care, caused him to lose his sight. This multi-defendant scenario presented a complex legal challenge, apportioning damages fairly based on the contributions of each defendant to Mr. Rahman's overall harm. Issue. The central legal question in Rahman vs. Arearose Ltd revolved around the apportionment of damages in a case involving negligence from two separate parties. Determining the exact cause of Mr. Rahman's psychiatric harm, which stemmed from both the brutal assault and the subsequent blindness, was crucial. The court had to answer two key questions. Causation: how much of Mr. Rahman's psychiatric condition could be attributed to the initial assault? Arearose Ltd's responsibility, and how much to the resulting blindness caused by the surgeon's negligence? Apportionment of damages, given the potential overlap in causation. How should the total compensation for Mr. Rahman's physical and psychological injuries be divided between Arearose Ltd and the surgeon? Holding. The court acknowledged the challenges of pinpointing the exact cause of the psychiatric harm, but delivered a judgment outlining a specific approach to apportioning damages. Here is a breakdown of the court's decision. The 1978 Civil Liability Act, designed for situations involving concurrent torts simultaneous wrongs, was deemed inapplicable in this case. Instead, the court adopted a pragmatic approach focused on the relative blameworthiness of each defendant. Arearose Ltd was solely liable for the initial assault and the loss of earnings directly resulting from Mr. Rahman's inability to work. The surgeon was solely responsible for Mr. Rahman's blindness. Both defendants were deemed liable for the psychiatric harm, but the court apportioned the damages based on their perceived roles in contributing to it. 1/3 of the damages for psychiatric harm was attributed to Arearose Ltd, acknowledging the trauma of the assault. 2/3 were attributed to the surgeon, considering the significant impact of permanent and blindness on Mr. Rahman's mental well-being. Ratio decidendi. The court's reasoning pivoted on achieving a just outcome for Mr. Rahman in a situation where two negligent parties contributed to his devastating injuries. The court's reasoning pivoted on achieving a just outcome for Mr. Rahman in a situation where two negligent parties contributed to his devastating injuries. Inapplicability of the 1978 Act. While the 1978 Civil Liability Act provided a framework for apportioning damages in specific scenarios, the court deemed it unsuitable for this case due to the unique nature of the overlapping causes of harm. Focus on blameworthiness and causation. The court prioritized a more practical approach that considered blameworthiness, evaluating the severity of each defendant's breach of duty. Arearose Ltd failed to provide a safe workplace, while the surgeon's negligence directly caused blindness. Causation: acknowledging the difficulty in definitively isolating the causes of the psychiatric harm. The court apportioned responsibility based on the potential impact of each event. Significance: Rahman v. Arearose Ltd holds immense significance in the realm of personal injury law, particularly in multi-defendant negligence cases. It established a precedent for a flexible approach to apportioning damages when multiple parties contribute to a claimant's overall harm. This case highlighted the importance of considering individual defendant's role, precisely assessing the specific actions or omissions of each defendant and their contributions to the overall damage suffered by the claimant. Challenges of causation: in situations where multiple factors contribute to a single injury, the court acknowledged the inherent difficulty in definitive cause attribution and advocated for a reasonable allocation of responsibility. Conclusion: Rahman v. Arearose Ltd stands as a landmark case in personal injury law, offering a framework for navigating situations with multiple negligent parties and overlapping causes of harm. The case prioritizes a pragmatic approach based on blameworthiness and a fair allocation of damages, even when the exact cause is challenging to pinpoint. While the case has sparked debate regarding the difficulty of quantifying harm, it remains a crucial precedent for ensuring that injured parties receive just compensation in complex multi-defendant negligence claims. If you are a law student and looking for more case studies, visit our website www.mylawtutor.net.